Well, Phil, we have reached my favorite portion of the game show. And as I mentioned, you have been a huge influence on my hosting journey. So to get to host a game for you to play is truly an opportunity I've been working up to for nearly my entire life. Are you ready to play an Amazing Race themed game?
An Amazing Race themed game. All right. I have no idea what you're throwing at me, but yeah, sure.
Excellent. It's time for the game of the day.
Game of the day.
So, Phil, you have traveled from continent to continent on the Amazing Race for over 2 decades, but we are going to find out how well you can recall a memorable moment that happened on each of the 6 habitable continents. This game is called Continental Divide. Continental Divide.
Continental Divide. Okay. By the way, just so you know, there's 7 continents, right? And we've only been to 6, but then they think they found an 8th continent, right?
Yeah, I only included the 6 continents that the Amazing Race has previously visited, but no, I did not know an 8th continent was discovered.
Yeah, okay. No, I understand. And I do hope we get to the 7th continent. But just so you know, just near New Zealand, they think that they've found an 8th continent. It's called Zealandia, and it's a continent that includes New Zealand and is off the coast of Australia. Just wanted you to know.
Well, I had no idea about Zealandia, so I appreciate the Phil fact, and hopefully the Amazing Race will visit Zealandia soon.
Well, we have technically been there because we've been to New Zealand, so theoretically we have been to the 8th continent.
That's true. The Amazing Race has been to New Zealand 4 times.
Exactly. Seasons 2, 5, 13, and 22.
That is absolutely correct. I love how your Phil facts and my Brad facts are combining in this moment.
I think you might have done a little bit more deeper diving than me, but anyway.
That's probably the case, yes. I take pride in learning everything I possibly can about the TV shows that have inspired me, such as The Amazing Race. And because I want all of my guests to experience the thrill and legitimacy of actual gameplay, I treat each and every one of my games that I create like real game shows. So I made sure to research and fact check all of the questions that you're about to face.
Wow, okay. As long as you don't bring up the save, I'm good to go.
Don't worry, the save is not mentioned in any of the questions, I can guarantee it.
Good. Let's leave the save out. I've still got the official save piece of artwork that was used on the show as a reminder to never try to use a save again.
Well, no pun intended, but now that I know you kept hold of the save, I'm curious. Have you saved any other pieces of Amazing Race memorabilia from over the years?
I don't collect too much stuff, but, I've got the light box slide from when we were in Tauranga in New Zealand in season 13, because I was there with my dad. He was the greeter, and I helped to produce the New Zealand episodes and went on the scouts and stuff. So I've got a few things from that, but I try not to collect too much stuff.
Well, since you brought it up, I've always wondered, the light box was an iconic piece of the pit stop setup. So why did the show stop using the light box in the middle of season 18?
Well, can I tell you, it was a pain in the ass. And in season 13 at the pit stop, the helicopter that brought the fast forward team in, if you remember when they came in after they went on the Sky Tower, they flew in and it blew the light box over and smashed it. It was always getting in the way of shots. It was always getting delayed in our luggage, and it was extremely bulky and heavy to carry around. We had to get a car battery to light up the box in whatever country we went in. So the poor pit stop captains, as we called them, had to go and source a big car battery to power it up. It was a pain in the behind. So I'm very glad we got rid of it.
Well, the light box originally had a red and yellow flag that adorned the framing, but in the middle of season 7, it was removed and never used again during the light box's run. Brad fact! I'm presuming the added time of having to always put on and take off the light box flag at every pit stop was the reason for its removal in season 7, correct?
It was, and then stuff does go missing. If you remember in season 6 in Lalibela, when we were up in the highlands in Ethiopia and the mat went missing, if you look at that pit stop, that's when they had to go into the pens. Remember where the hidden church was up in Lalibela in Ethiopia?
Yes, I do. And I believe that was an instance where the teams completed a roadblock and then had to run to the nearby pit stop.
Right, and there the mat went missing, and so we had to get a local person to make a mat for us. And if you look at the shots where that elderly gentleman was sitting with me with the fly swatter, a completely different Amazing Race mat that we've never had before. It was all handmade.
I do remember that, and I originally thought it was maybe a throwback to Season 1 where many of the pit stop mats were uniquely designed based on the destination.
No, the mat went missing. And the mats that we've got are extremely heavy, and now we're into a lighter mat, which is easier to travel with. However, in the cold weather, it tends to curl up, and we have tremendous difficulty trying to get it to flatten out on different locations. And then we have difficulty with it getting marked and dirty, and it's a whole thing. The whole mat thing, you could write a book about it. But the finish line mat is exactly the same mat that we used right outside the beautiful globe in Season 1. It's still the same mat.
And it's the same mat that you vacuumed for a Season 7 publicity photo.
Yeah, well, someone's got to keep that mat clean. And I'm happy to pick up the vacuum cleaner anytime.
Well, Phil, I hope you accomplish a clean sweep in this game. And here's how we play. I'm going to start off by giving you 35 points, and those points are going to be a huge factor in this game, and let me explain why. In front of me are 6 cards, each of which has the name of a continent on it. We have Africa, Asia, Australia, Europe, North America, and South America. On the back of each continent is a question relating to a moment that occurred on a previous race on that continent. You'll pick a continent, but before I read the question and the 4 possible answers, you have to tell me how many of your remaining points you'd like to bet on yourself knowing the correct answer. I'll then read the question, and if you're correct, you bank the points that you bet on that question. You can bet between 1 and 10 points on the first 5 continents you pick, and all of your remaining points if you need to play continent number 6. And Phil, if you can bank 20 points or more, you will cross the finish line first and be declared a winner. And one more thing, Phil. During the game, you have one opportunity to use the fast forward. After I read the question, but before I reveal the 4 possible answers, if you think you can answer the question without the help of the 4 possibilities, use the fast forward, because if you're correct, you'll bank double the amount of points that you bet. Those are all the rules. Phil, are you ready to show off your Amazing Race smarts one continent at a time?
Well, let's try it.
Then let's play Continental Divide. So Phil, which continent would you like to start with?
Why don't we start with South America?
Let's start with South America. And how many points of your 35 would you like to try and bank?
Let's start with 5.
All right, 5 points it is. And here comes your South America question. During Leg 1 of Season 27 in Brazil, the fast forward involving what adventurous activity could not be completed due to bad weather conditions? So that's the question. Would you like to use your fast forward?
I'm going to hold off for right now because it's the beginning of the game.
Okay, good strategy. So, during Leg 1 of Season 27 in Brazil, the fast forward involving what adventurous activity could not be completed due to bad weather conditions? Was it skydiving, bungee jumping, parasailing, or hang gliding?
Season 2, we had paragliding in Brazil, and we did get to do that. If you remember, the grannies leapt off.
I can't run that fast. I can't run. I think I'm not going to go. Yeah, I don't think I'll do it. I like to think I'm not afraid of things, but
I was thinking, I don't want to die if I don't run fast or if I fall on my face and we'd nosedive down into the trees.
I'm giving up.
If I didn't do it, Claire couldn't do it either because we're a team.
And that'll screw it all up.
So we did it. My legs were wobbly. I could hardly stand up.
We're going to go off balance, and we'll dive down in the trees and die.
Great takeoff. I was terrified.
We flew out over the ocean, and I saw Claire, and we came back into land.
You did it! You did it! You did it!
My landing wasn't exactly smooth.
Oh, thank you, Marcella. That was wonderful. I'm thinking I might even take hang gliding lessons.
Peggy, you're not thinking that for
kidding.
one
Just kidding.
second.
Do you know the bus terminal?
I'm going to say it was parasailing.
You say it was parasailing, and it was actually hang gliding.
It was more hand gliding, was it?
Yeah, Justin and Diana attempted this fast forward in Rio de Janeiro, but were unable to hang glide due to strong winds. Brad fact!
All right, this looks like the place. Oh, there's helicopters.
Oh, fast forward.
Make your way to Clubo Salo Coronado de Varo in San Coronado Beach for a chance to soar above Rio on a hang glider and earn the fast forward. Warning, the fast forward is weather dependent. We're gonna take the fast forward. We're gonna take a chance.
So you didn't bank any points for South America, but you still have 5 continents to go and 30 points at your disposal. Which continent next, Phil?
Africa.
Africa it is, and how many points would you like to bet?
We'll go with 5 again.
All right, let's see if you can bank the 5 points this time. Here is your Africa question. In what African country did teams have to carry a chicken with them throughout the entire leg? And at the pit stop, Phil, you said to the teams, no chicken, no check-in.
No chicken, no check-in.
So do you want to use your fast forward or do you want the choices?
I think I'm going to go with the choices again.
No problem. So in what African country did teams have to carry a chicken with them throughout the entire leg? And at the pit stop, Phil, you said to the teams, no chicken, no check-in. Was it Madagascar, Mozambique, Burkina Faso, or Ghana?
I don't think it was Ghana because I remember when we were in Ghana, we were at the pit stop in the market. Could have been Madagascar. I'm going to say it was Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso is your answer. And I am pleased to say that you are correct.
Ooh, I wasn't 100% sure about that one.
Well, I'm glad you were sure enough to say Burkina Faso. No chicken, no check-in was said by you at the leg 4 pit stop of season 12 in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso. Brad fact.
Oh, I remember Ouagadougou very well. There's just something cool about saying Ouagadougou. It's just one of those names that you just have to say, right? It just says adventure. It just says something interesting.
Well, that's actually one of the reasons why I included that question, so that I can say Ouagadougou. All right, Phil, you are on the board with 5 points. And which continent would you like next?
Asia.
Asia is your selection. And how many points do you want to try and bank?
We'll go with 5 again.
Sounds good to me. For 5 points, here is your Asia question. During season 15, Zev and Justin were eliminated because Zev lost his passport. In what Asian country did this occur?
I remember we were next to, there was a park, and they turned up at the pit stop.
Well, it sounds like you might be able to answer this question without the choices. So would you like to use your fast forward?
Let me go for the fast forward. Why not?
Okay, you're going to use the fast forward, so I'm going to double your bet, which means this question is now worth 10 points. And once again, the question is, during season 15, Zev and Justin were eliminated because Zev lost his passport. In what Asian country did this occur?
Was it Cambodia?
You're saying it's Cambodia, and that's actually one of the 4 choices. However, the other options are Japan, Thailand, and Vietnam. And the many Amazing Race superfans out there know that those are all incorrect because Cambodia is the right answer.
Oh, really? I wasn't 100% sure on that either.
Well, you were confident enough to use the fast forward, and it paid off. And by the way, Zev and Justin were eliminated at the end of leg 4 in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Brad fact. You now have banked 15 points, and you still have 3 questions remaining with 20 available points to play with. Australia, Europe, or North America? Which continent would you like next?
Let's go with Europe.
Europe it is. And you only need 5 points to win, so you might as well keep your trend going and bet 5 again.
All right, I'm going to bet 5 points.
Excellent idea. So for 5 points and the win, here is the Europe question. During leg 8 of season 3 in Switzerland, a classic Amazing Race phrase was uttered when one racer said, "My pants are falling down," to which their partner replied, "This is more important than your pants falling down." Which team is attributed to this iconic altercation? Is it Flo and Zach, Terry and Ian, Ken and Gerard, or Derek and Drew?
I'm going to go with Terry and Ian. I remember that they were wearing disposable underwear, and I remember it was very strange. And I can't imagine that other pants would be falling down, but I could imagine those pants falling down.
So your answer is going to be Terry and Ian. And in the words of you, Phil, after 4 continents, 4 questions, and 2 unsure correct guesses, I am pleased to tell you that you are the official winner of Continental Divide because Terry and Ian is correct.
Oh my God. Thank God this is over. This is very stressful, being the contestant on your show.
Well, even though it was a stressful experience for you, at least you now know what the teams must feel like when they arrive at the pit stop, Matt. And you tricked them into believing that they are the last team to arrive, but they actually aren't. So Phil, I'm trying to help you experience all aspects of the amazing race.
Thank you. And by the way, I don't recommend people wearing disposable underwear.
Well, it especially wasn't helpful because Terry and Ian had to run downhill while traveling on foot to the pit stop in Switzerland. Brad fact.
Wait. My pants are falling down. Here. You hold this.
We gotta go.
My pants are falling down.
This is more important than your pants falling
you
down.
think so?
Yeah, I think so. You're not modest.
Ian, you gotta help me with this. I don't care. Hold up.
I can't. Lift it up. Lift it up.
Okay.
No, we gotta jog now. Downhill jog, please.
They were a great team. They were a lot of fun to watch, and they went all the way to Final 3, and there was that heartfelt moment with Ian having served in Vietnam, coming back to Vietnam, and then Flo and Zach literally wanting to give up the race altogether on the second to last leg. And I just remember us having to talk to them and say to them, hey, don't give up. You've got a real chance here. And thankfully they listened to us because they ended up winning.
They certainly did, and you ended up being a winner as well. So congratulations again on becoming a Continental Divide champion.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
You are very welcome. And that was the game of the day, Continental Divide. Continental Divide.